Jimmy Kimmel, the late-night host, has taken a stand against Donald Trump following the former president's vow to rule like a dictator from the first day of his presidency if re-elected. On Wednesday night, Kimmel recapped what he called the incredible moment when Mr. Trump struck a softball during the previous night. During an event hosted by Shay Hannity in Davenport, Iowa, the former president was pressed on whether he would abuse presidential power to seek revenge against his political opponents if re-elected. Bizarrely, Mr. Trump declared he would not abuse power except for day one. "Except for day one," he replied. "I want to close the border, and I want to drill, drill, drill." Mr. Trump's comments were met by chuckles and eventually cheers from the studio audience. He then added, "I love this guy," referring to Mr. Hannity. He says, "You're not going to be a dictator, are you?" I said, "No, no, no. Other than day one, we're closing the border, and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator," he continued. Mr. Kimmel continued his takedown of the former president for his remarks, issuing a brutal response. "You'll only be a dictator on day one, as opposed to the rest of the time where there's no tater, just the asterisk, has key quits." Mr. Kimmel then went on to express his disbelief at the interview as a whole. "I'm tired of these fake questions," he said. Of course, he's going to become a dictator. He said he's going to become a dictator basically in November. "We're going to be voting on whether we will ever vote again," he added. Mr. Trump's remarks come amidst increasing polarization about the state of democracy in the U.S. His language, including recently likening some of his opponents to vermin and vowing retribution against those he sees as his adversaries, has alarmed Democrats and even some Republicans. Despite this, the former president maintains a lead in the polls. Jimmy Kimmel is proof that you can be friends with your ex. On the Thursday, November 30th episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live, the comedian got to chat with his ex-girlfriend, Sarah Silverman, whom he dated from, too. "We dated for a long time," the 56-year-old said while talking to Kimmel. "A lot more than a couple of years," Kimmel chimed in. "Whatever, 7, the Maestro star shot back. This led Kimmel to chat about Silverman's new boyfriend, Rory Albanese. "And now, Rory, your boyfriend, your longtime boyfriend, who looks almost exactly like me, by the way, is sitting next to my wife there," he said, referring to Molly McN, who looks almost exactly like me. Silverman joked of McN, who is blonde. "Yeah, exactly like you, and Rory and Molly both work here," Kimmel added. "We have a lot of interconnection." Kimmel and Silverman first met at an event in which the former was hosting. Kimmel made a joke about Silverman, and their romance blossomed from there. "We had known each other for a while, just watching movies and stuff. Just being friends," Silverman told Esquire in. "And then, one night, we were watching Broadway Danny Rose. Jimmy went in for the first kiss, and both of us, we were probably nose to nose for what seemed like minutes before either of us had the guts to just go ahead and kiss. But once we did, we started making out like crazy. It had been festering for a very long time. He follows me down the hall, probably feet, to my bedroom, and I go into my bedroom, and I turn around and he's standing in my doorway completely naked, like a bear." Silverman added, "Like a big wild bear." I was shocked. I mean, at what point had all his clothes come off? And I looked at him like, I don't know. I just was taken aback.